My sister scammed me for $5,000 and now she's facing federal charges. Hey there. I'm Ben. Just a regular guy who thought helping out his sister was the right thing to do. Yeah, past me was adorable. See, my sister Chloe has always had a flair for the dramatic, but this time, oh, she outdid herself. Let's rewind to 3 weeks ago. It's late. Like, why am I still awake? Late. And my phone lights up. Who else but Chloe? She's crying like she's auditioning for a soap opera. I answer, half expecting her to tell me she's been kidnapped by pirates. Instead, I get this hysterical tale about overdue bills, evil landlords twirling their mustaches, and how she's basically one step away from setting up camp under a bridge. Ben, please, I'm desperate. If I don't get $5,000 by tomorrow, I'm out on the street. I can't go to mom and dad again. They're already covering my car payments. You're my last hope. I swear I'll pay you back. $500 a month. Pinky promise. Now, anyone with 2 brain cells would have paused and said, Chloe, didn't you just post about getting a bonus last month? And where exactly did your savings go? But me? New Big Brother mode activated. I'm sitting there, picturing Chloe in a tragic movie montage. Rain pouring down as she clutches a soggy cardboard sign. So, of course, I transfer the money. $5,000. Gone with a few taps. She replies instantly with a tsunami of heart emojis. A "You're my hero?" and a screenshot of the receipt. As if that made it all official and not just me funding her next bad decision. For a few days, I actually felt good about it. Look at me, being the responsible sibling, saving the day. That is, until I made the fatal mistake of opening Instagram during my lunch break. There she was, Chloe. Not exactly looking like someone battling eviction. Nope. She's in what I can only describe as a luxury shopping temple, surrounded by more designer bags than a Kardashian closet cleanout. The caption, #TreatYourself2 hearts because self-care is important. I nearly choked on my sandwich. My fingers flew across my phone screen. Hey Chloe, quick question. What happened to the whole I'm about to be homeless thing? Did Louis Vuitton start offering rent assistance programs I don't know about? She left me on read for a good 5 minutes, probably rehearsing her next line of nonsense. Then came the reply, OMG Ben, chill. After all that stress, I deserved a little something. You're acting like you're bankrupt now. Relax, you'll survive. Oh, I was beyond acting dramatic. My blood pressure was doing a TikTok dance. 10 years of saving, budgeting, skipping fancy coffees because adults make smart financial choices. And here's Chloe blowing MY money on a self-care spree. But wait, it gets better. She hits me with another gem. Besides, I told you I'd pay you back. Why do you care how I spend it? Not everything in life is about being responsible, you know? At that moment, I didn't even have the energy to argue. Clearly, we were living in 2 different realities, hers being some delusional influencer fantasy where consequences don't exist. So I did what any sane person would do. I opened my banking app, screenshotted the $5,000 transfer, screenshotted every frame of her Treat Yourself Tour 2024, and created a nice little folder on my phone labeled Chloe, the Loan Chronicles, because something told me this wasn't over. By the end of the day, my phone was blowing up. Miss, I deserved it, suddenly couldn't handle being ignored. Texts, calls, DMs, all variations of you're overreacting. Mom says you're being uptight, and my personal favorite. I can't believe you're making a big deal out of this. Oh, Chloe, you have no idea how big of a deal this is about to become. Alright, so where did we leave off? Oh, right. My dear sister Chloe was out there living her best influencer life with my hard-earned $5,000. While I was sitting at my desk questioning every life choice that led me to this moment. Now, I could have just stewed in silence, but nope. Chloe wasn't about to let that happen. The next morning, I woke up to 30 missed calls. Apparently, radio silence for me was more terrifying than her imaginary eviction notice. By lunchtime, I had a voicemail from Mom, and let me tell you, it was peak. I raised you better than this energy. Ben, why are you harassing your sister about money? She's going through a tough time. Call her back and apologize. Apologize? For what? For not applauding her for turning my savings into a personal shopping spree? But wait, plot twist. This wasn't Chloe's first rodeo. Oh no. As I sat there replaying every conversation we'd had over the years, a pattern started to emerge. The emergencies, the guilt trips, the sudden radio silence after the money hit her account. I'd been blind, but now I was seeing in 4K. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, my cousin Emily slides into my DMs. Hey, saw your post. Chloe hit me up for $2,000 last year. Same story. Bills, eviction, tears, then she went on a weekend getaway to Miami. Oh, fantastic. Turns out Chloe's been running a family discount scam operation. That evening, I get home to find 17 missed calls, a couple of passive-aggressive texts, and a cherry on top, an old childhood photo Chloe posted with the caption, "Family is everything. Always there for each other." Yeah, sure. If by there for each other you mean there to fund your luxury lifestyle, then absolutely. I muted her, Mom, and anyone else trying to gaslight me into thinking I was the villain here. Instead, I started building my case, screenshots, bank records, every urgent text Chloe had ever sent me. Because at this point, I wasn't just the grumpy brother anymore. I was about to become Chloe's worst nightmare, the family member who said enough. If you thought Chloe blowing up my phone was bad, oh buddy, we're just getting started. Because the next chapter, in the circus? A full-blown family intervention, but not for Chloe. No. For me. So there I was, minding my own business when Mom decides it's time for a family discussion. Translation: let's all gang up on Ben for daring to expect accountability. I walk into my parents' house and instantly regret every decision that led me here. Mom's pacing like she's about to deliver a TED talk on why Ben needs to lighten up. Dad's sitting silently, perfecting his "I don't want to be here" face. And Chloe? Oh, Chloe's lounging on the couch, scrolling through her phone like she's the victim of some great injustice. Then, Mom starts, using the tone reserved for when I forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer as a kid. "We need to talk about how you're treating your sister." Oh, you mean the sister who treated my bank account like her personal ATM? Chloe finally looks up, crocodile tears already forming. "I just don't understand why you're being so cruel. It was just a little help and now you're acting like I committed a crime." I nearly laughed. "Chloe, if financial manipulation were a crime, you'd be serving a life sentence by now." Mom gasped like I just kicked a puppy. "Ben, that's your sister." "Exactly," I snapped back. "Which is why this is even more insane. She lied. She scammed me. And judging by what Emily told me, I'm not the only one." Cue Chloe's Oscar-worthy performance. "Oh my god, you're seriously digging up old drama now? Emily offered that money. I never asked." "Sure, Chloe. And I'm the Queen of England." That finally cleared his throat. "Enough. Both of you." His voice had that quiet authority that made everyone shut up instantly. "Chloe, did you or did you not tell Ben you needed money for emergency bills?" Chloe shifted uncomfortably. "Well, I mean, yeah, but no buts." Dad cut in. "And did you use that money for bills?" Silence. Chloe looked everywhere except at us. Mom tried to jump in with, "Honey, maybe she just needed a break after all that stress." "Mom, stop," I said, holding up my hand. "This isn't about stress relief. It's about accountability." Chloe's mask slipped for a second, and there it was, that flash of annoyance when she realized the usual guilt trip wasn't working. "You know what? Fine," she snapped, grabbing her bag, Gucci, obviously. "If you all want to make me out to be the bad guy, go ahead. I don't need this negativity in my life." And with that, she stormed out like the diva she believes she is. Mom looked at me, tears welling up. "I just don't want to see this family fall apart over money." "Neither do I sighed. "But maybe if we stopped enabling her, we wouldn't be in this mess." As I left, Dad pulled me aside. "Keep documenting everything," he said quietly. "Something tells me this isn't over." "Oh, Dad. You had no idea how right you were." Update. Remember when I thought a family intervention was peak drama? Yeah, turns out that was just Chloe warming up. Because what happened next made the Bens being too harsh meeting look like a casual brunch. So, a few days after Chloe's dramatic exit, I'm at work, trying to live a normal adult life, paying bills, minding my own business, when I hear a commotion in the lobby. I peek over and, surprise, there's Chloe waltzing into my office building like she owns the place. She's dressed head to toe in what I assume is her "I'm a victim" outfit, oversized sunglasses indoors, a flowy designer knockoff scarf, and heels that scream, "Hear me" coming from a mile away. "Benjamin," she shouts across the lobby like we're on a reality TV show reunion special. "We need to talk about what you're doing to this family." I swear, every coworker within earshot suddenly discovered they had urgent business right there in the lobby. I drag her outside before she starts live streaming or something. "Chloe, what are you doing here?" She crosses her arms, chin up like she's the wrong party. "I'm here because you're trying to ruin my life over a misunderstanding." "You mean the $5,000 you lied to get?" "That misunderstanding." "I didn't lie," she snaps. "You gave it to me. And now you're turning everyone against me because you're jealous I know how to enjoy life." Jealous? That was her angle. I was too stunned to even respond. But oh, Chloe wasn't done. Nope, she drops the next bomb like it's nothing. "By the way, Mom and Dad are taking out a loan to pay you back. So congrats, you've stressed them into debt. Hope you're happy." I just stared at her, wondering if she genuinely believed her nonsense or if this was some next-level gaslighting. "Absolutely not," I said. "This isn't about getting the money back anymore. This is about you taking responsibility for once in your life." Her response? "You're dead to me," followed by a dramatic hair flip and her stomping off like she just delivered a mic drop. That night, my brother Mark calls me. He's usually Switzerland in family drama, but even he sounded exhausted. Mom's a wreck, Dad's furious, and Chloe, well, she's Chloe. Then Mark hesitates before dropping his little revelation. Did you know she pulled the same stunt with cousin Abby last year? Oh, but wait, plot twist, it wasn't just Abby. Uncle Tom got scammed too. That car payment Chloe needed help with? Yeah, she sold the car 2 months later and pocketed the cash. At this point, it was less family drama and more organized crime ring. Mom, bless her heart, tried to fix things by organizing a family dinner. Spoiler alert, it was a disaster. Chloe spent the evening airing childhood grievances like this was some therapy session where Ben got better grades justified financial fraud. When Dad finally told her enough, Chloe pulled her signature move, storming out with her Gucci bag in tow. But here's where things took a sharp turn. As I was leaving, Dad quietly said, I'm filing paperwork for small claims court tomorrow. I'll be your witness. I tried to protest, but he shut it down. Sometimes loving someone means letting them face consequences. Wise words, Dad. Because little did we know, Chloe was about to go from family scammer to full-blown menace. The next morning, I woke up to threats. Yep, Chloe had decided that blackmail was her new hobby. Screenshots of old texts, embarrassing photos from high school, even some wildly fake stories about me. She sent the same garbage to Dad, Mark, Abby, basically anyone who dared to side with reality. But here's the kicker, mixed in with the threats were sugary Instagram posts about family love and forgiveness. Like she wasn't simultaneously trying to nuke every relationship she had. At this point, court wasn't just an option, it was inevitable. So, after Chloe's Oscar-worthy performance at my office and her newfound hobby of blackmailing family members, you'd think she'd hit peak insanity, right? Oh, sweet summer child, we weren't even close. The very next day, I wake up to a voice note from Chloe. Now, I know better than to listen to her voice messages before caffeine, but curiosity got the better of me. Big mistake. Hey Ben, she starts, sounding way too cheerful for someone who just threatened to expose my awkward teenage phase. So, I've been thinking. I know you're all upset about the money thing, but I have an amazing opportunity for you. I've got over 50K followers now, and my engagement is insane. Like, I could totally promote your work. That's worth way more than $5,000 if you think about it. We could just, call it even. I nearly dropped my phone. Did my sister, the same sister who faked an eviction crisis, just offer me exposure as payment? Naturally, I forwarded the voice note to my brother Mark, who works in social media. His response? Bro, let me run a check on her account. Bet you half her followers are bots. Spoiler alert, he was being generous. Turns out 80% of Chloe's followers were bot. Her insane engagement? A bunch of bots and desperate influencers stuck in comment for comment pods. But wait, it gets juicier. Mark digs deeper and finds out Chloe's been running a so-called consulting business, charging clueless wannabe influencers hundreds of dollars for her growth strategies. Translation, selling fake followers and recycled advice she probably found on Google. I didn't reply to her offer. Instead, I sent everything to Dad, who was already building a file thicker than a dictionary for the small claims case. Then came another bombshell. Remember that investment opportunity Chloe was pushing around Christmas? The one where she promised 30% returns if we invested in her exclusive marketing collective? Yeah, apparently Uncle Tom fell for that too. She'd pocketed thousands from family members who just wanted to support her entrepreneurial dreams. At this point, Chloe wasn't just a family headache, she was a walking, talking Ponzi scheme. Mark tried to stage a peace talk, neutral territory, coffee shop, public place so she couldn't cause a scene, wishful thinking. Chloe showed up 2 hours late, flaunting a borrowed Chanel bag with the price tag still peeking out. She spent the entire meeting pitching her latest scam, a luxury lifestyle coaching program. All I need is a small $15,000 investment, and Ben will deduct the $5,000 IOU from your future profits. Think bigger. Generational wealth. I almost choked on my coffee. Mark, usually the calm one, finally snapped. The only thing you're generating is BS, Chloe. Cue the waterworks and another dramatic exit. The next morning, I get an email from Chloe. Attached, a poorly edited contract offering to settle her debt by making me her business partner. Oh, and she CC'd her legal team at, wait for it, legalegal123@gmail.com. I forwarded it to my actual lawyer. Yes, I finally lawyered up. His reply? A single laughing emoji followed by, we've got this. Meanwhile, Chloe was still out there posting motivational quotes about rising above negativity and haters being your biggest fans. Classic. But behind the scenes, the walls were closing in. Dad called me that night. Chloe's saying she'll represent herself in court. She's been watching YouTube videos about sovereign citizens and maritime law. I facepalmed so hard I saw stars. Dad, we're not dealing with a sister anymore. We're dealing with a delusional cult of one. Mark was stress-baking cookies by the dozen. Mom was sending daily Bible verses in the family group chat, and Chloe? She announced she was launching a podcast about surviving family betrayal. Oh, and fun fact, She was still using my credit card for her Spotify premium. Found that out when I checked my statements. Because apparently even scammers need their playlists. At this point, I wasn't sure if I wanted my $5,000 back or just a front row seat to watch Chloe's fantasy world come crashing down. You know that feeling when you think, surely, it can't get any worse. And then life responds with, hold my drink? Yeah, welcome to my world. Court day was looming, but Chloe was out here acting like she was prepping for a red carpet event. Not a legal battle. Her Instagram, full of spa selfies, crystals for cleansing negative energy, and captions like, ready to face my oppressors with grace and style. Oppressors? Girl, this isn't the Hunger Games. You scammed your family, remember? Anyway, the big day arrives, and guess who's nowhere to be found? Yep, Chloe. While the rest of us were in court, she was posting boomerangs of her mimosa at some overpriced brunch spot. 2 hours late, she finally struts in. Oversized sunglasses, indoors of course. Wearing what I swear was a knockoff Birkin bag. I guess fake it till you make it was her legal strategy. But here's where karma decided to RSVP. See, while Chloe was busy playing Instagram influencer, my brother Mark, bless his tech-savvy heart, had been quietly archiving every shady thing she posted. Even the close friends' stories where she bragged about fooling the fam again and dropping tips on how to guilt trip your way to luxury. But wait, there's more. Remember Dad's old friend who retired from the FBI? Plot twist, he didn't retire. And when he caught wind of Chloe's little consulting side hustle, he made a few calls. Turns out, running a fake influencer scam, selling bogus investment schemes, and committing wire fraud is slightly illegal. Who knew? So, while Chloe thought she was walking into a slap-on-the-wrist civil case, she was actually walking into a trap. 2 federal agents were waiting, paperwork in hand. When they approached her, she tried to pull the "this is harassment" card, ranting about being an entrepreneur and how haters were trying to bring her down. Yeah, the agents weren't buying it. They confiscated her phone, which, let's be honest, was basically her entire empire of lies, and read her rights. Chloe tried to make a break for it, but those 5-inch heels weren't made for running from federal charges. I stood there, watching the whole thing unfold like it was the series finale of a show I didn't know I was starring in. Dad beside me, stoic as ever. Mark casually filming for evidence. And maybe for a little poetic justice. The agents uncovered over $200,000 in fraudulent transactions. Fake brand deals, phony consulting fees, bogus investments, the works. Oh, and that apartment she was supposedly being evicted from? She didn't even live there. She was subletting it illegally and charging 3 other tenants. Best part? Her podcast about family betrayal. Yeah, the feds are using it as evidence because apparently confessing to scams on a public platform isn't the flex she thought it was. Her court-appointed lawyer tried to negotiate, but Dad wasn't having it. The time for deals was before she turned our family into her personal piggy bank, he said. The fallout? Let's just say every day more victims crawl out of the woodwork, family, friends, even strangers who fell for her Instagram persona. Mom? She's finally in therapy, clutching old photo albums and wondering where it all went wrong. Mark's still baking like he's feeding an army. And me? I froze my credit, changed every password, and treated myself to a steak dinner with the money I would have spent on Chloe's next birthday. As I left the restaurant, I saw a sign, no refunds for bad decisions. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, folks, here we are at the grand finale. If you've stuck around this long, grab some popcorn because Chloe's saga didn't just fizzle out, it went out in a blaze of delusional glory. So, after her courtroom catwalk turned federal sting operation, you'd think Chloe would finally accept reality, right? Oh no. Even with handcuffs on, she tried to log into my Netflix account. Yeah, because nothing says rehabilitation like stealing someone's streaming service while facing federal charges. The investigation kept snowballing. Every day, more victims popped up, friends, extended family, random followers who bought into her boss babe fantasy. The feds found out that her brand partnerships were as fake as her designer bags and that consulting business? Just a front for selling lies and empty promises. And remember that podcast she launched about family betrayal? It's now Exhibit A in a federal case. Turns out spilling your scam secrets to a public audience isn't exactly the smartest move, who knew? Mom finally stopped sending Bible verses and started facing the truth. She's deep in therapy now, working through the where did we go wrong phase. Dad? Still the rock of reason, documenting everything like he's prepping for a Netflix true crime docuseries. Mark has enough stress-baked cookies to open a bakery. As for me, I've made peace with it. I realized that this was never about the $5,000. It was about drawing the line. Chloe thought she could guilt trip, manipulate, and scheme her way through life without consequences. And honestly, for years she did because we let her. But not this time. Her court date is set for next month and you bet I'll be there front row. Not because I want revenge, but because I want her to see the one person she underestimated the most. The brother who finally said no more. Oh, and that $5,000? I'm donating it to a nonprofit that educates people about social media scams. Felt fitting, you know? So, was I too harsh? Now, looking at this whole mess from the sidelines, you gotta wonder, did Ben blow up the family over nothing? Sure, some relatives are clutching their pearls, acting like he set fire to Thanksgiving dinner. But seriously, how many more people was Chloe going to scam if someone didn't finally say enough? Sometimes, folks, people like Chloe only learn when life hits them harder than their excuses ever could. So after watching this drama unfold, I've got a question for you. What would you do if your sibling pulled this stunt? Would you let it slide, or would you take it all the way like I did? Drop your thoughts below. I need to know if I'm the crazy one here. Hope you enjoyed this story as much as I do. Help this small channel grow by hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. Every bit of support means the world. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.